Okay, it's still the day after the presidential and National Assembly elections as we continue to bring you updates following yesterday's elections as held across the country. Straight away, we take you to Abeokuta, Ogun State, where our correspondent, John Felix, is standing by with an update. Good afternoon, John. Yes, what's the update from Abeokuta?
Well, presently, I'm at the INEC headquarters here in Abeokuta, where the collation of results is currently ongoing. At the moment, 10 areas of the state has been collated and has been counted and has been certified okay by the electoral umpire. We have 10 more to go. When that will commence, we don't know yet. It's still on, and journalists, party agents, security agents also are also waiting with bated breath to know when the other 10 from the respective local government will trickle in for them to be counted. So at the moment, we have 10 local governments counted so far, while 10 is still pending to be collated. But from what we have seen so far since the commencement of the poll yesterday till date, the reasons why this is delayed to this point cannot be unconnected to the fact that elections started late in some places, and of course the beavers machine played a huge role, wherein results were unable to be collated and uploaded like Rev portal. You know, these electoral officers will not be able to leave their respective local government areas to the INEC headquarters if the upload has not been done. You know, so these are part of the challenges, you know, that are taking place, and that's the reason why it has stalled to this moment. From my sojourn yesterday, from the Ogun East down to the Ogun Central to Ogun West, some of the things I discovered yesterday was that the ad hoc staff had no idea on how to use the beavers machine. This played a huge role yesterday. You also recall in my reportage yesterday, there was a particular polling unit I went to in Ilaro Ward 1, Unit 1, where the beavers of people from letters. So the beavers machine played a huge role, and of course the ad hoc staff were not promptly, you know, educated as to how these machines will be used, and that's why one of the reasons why it has stalled, and that's why we still have about 10 local governments still planning to be counted as at this time.
Okay, clarify for us. All the results of all the local governments at INEC headquarters as we speak in Abeokuta, or they are still being expected?
We have 10 still being expected. Of course, the results, they are on recess at the moment, and it's because we don't have all the remaining 10 yet. Not until we have that, then the collation will resume. You know, you want to expect that with the technology, with the bimodal voters accreditation, the beavers, results should be faster. In 2015, the presidential election result was announced on Monday, 2 days after Saturday. Ditto for 2019 election, it was announced on a Monday, 2 days after the election was held. As I speak with you, we have this just some minutes to 6, and we still have half, you know, of the results still being expected. And the report we have gathered so far indicates that even on the INEC Rev, the numbers of election results that has been uploaded has not gotten to 60%. So the challenge on how much or how well the entire 106,000 polling units result will be uploaded is still a major challenge. One would expect that with the technology, with the beavers, and with, of course, the innovations INEC had put in place, that results would be uploaded as fast as possible. But that's not been the case here as far as the state is concerned, because we are still expecting no more than 10 local governments.
What is INEC saying about all these delays, starting from delay in deploying sensitive materials yesterday, and to the collation of results from local governments today? What is INEC saying about all of this?
All right, I think beyond what INEC is saying, I also exclusively gathered that, for example, in a particular polling unit where you're expected to have no fewer than 4 core members, you have 1. They disappear for fear of unknown, as the case may be. So even at the start of the election, they had shortage of manpower. That actually played a huge role also. And this is not just, it didn't just happen in a particular unit. It happened in bits and parts of the state whereby people will have been trained. Even at the point where they were having the training, 3 days to the election, the numbers were reduced. The expected number of polling agents, INEC staff agents that would conduct this exercise were short-staffed. So they being short-staffed started before the exercise. You know, the election process is not just about the election itself. The pre-election, the election itself, and the post-election. And the post-election is what we're playing out at this point in time, because results will not manufacture itself if the local government official does not collate it in full. So what is INEC saying? INEC is hoping that people who have gone out to monitor this exercise, the officers who have gone out to conduct this exercise, will come back as fast as possible. Don't also forget, I told you that at each local government, if these results are not being uploaded, they cannot come down to the INEC headquarters in Abeokuta for onward transmission. So that needs to be sorted out first. And it is because of this logistics challenge, these corps members who were not adequately trained, and that is why we have seen that machines were failing at the point whereby they're helpless. They don't know what to do. Elections will be on hold, and of course they wouldn't want a manual process to override the process. So the challenge is at this point is beyond INEC, because it's more of a technological issue compared to what they have been experiencing now. I'm sure they didn't actually foresee this coming, but it is what it is.
Well, what is INEC also saying about the reduction in the numerical strength of the ad hoc staff running up to the elections? Any feedback on that?
You will note that as far as the election is concerned, residents actually volunteered to play the roles of INEC, to play the roles of ad hoc staff. We see people who are willing to volunteer their vehicles to transport materials from a particular location, from the rack center to the voting points. We have also had cases whereby the REC also complained about, or it raised issues about the transport unions not living up to their biddings, sequel to the arrangements they have made before now, as against what played out on election day. So some of this logistics challenge, from the vehicles they would use, and of course to the availability of manpower across board, people began to volunteer on their own by releasing their vehicles, transporting corps members, transporting ad hoc staff, to where they will carry out their respective exercise. But they just want the election to hold, because some of these things are things that could have been avoided. But the lesson now is for them to prepare adequately ahead of the governorship and the local assembly election, because that is a local thing. It's a local election. It's a grassroots election whereby people want to see their votes translate to results. People want to see their participation, to the later. People want to see that their vote actually counts. So at the point whereby they are being disenfranchised, then there's a problem.
Of the INEC headquarters and the many challenges, what's the general mood in Abeokuta as we speak?
All right, Abeokuta is cool and calm. People came out, but it wasn't encouraging. Just a few places in Iperu where there was a reported case of disruption of voting exercise. Thugs invaded the place, and of course about 4 polling units, they were cancelled. That could be likened to the weaponization of poverty and ignorance, because everything has been put in place for each free exercise. So when you see people like that disrupting the exercise, you ask, to what gain? For how much? Amongst others. But beyond that, because the turnout was so abysmal yesterday, elections were concluded on time. The stipulated time was cited by INEC, 2:30. People began staged to see their results. Businesses are operating optimally, are back to life. The security agencies are just on ground. More or less, they are less busy because little or no trouble happened yesterday. So everybody is going about their businesses. But one thing to note is that the numbers or the figures of people who had come out to vote, as far as this election is concerned, is a serious question. It's a serious question. The the voter education, the agitations by the youth, the hype on social media, the campaigns, the large number of people we saw at campaigns, amongst others. All of these did not translate to this particular election. The eyes will be on the governorship election and, of course, the State House of Assembly to see perhaps if there will be a change. However, don't also forget that at different senatorial districts, results already have been announced by the electoral body there. Winners are being declared for the House of Representatives, and of course, the Senate seats are already being declared. But what we are waiting for now is just the presidential elections.
Right. John, thank you very much for the detailed update. We'll get to speak to you much later. Thank you.
You're welcome.